So this is my overall bigger picture description of the VirnetX versus Apple case. In this case, VirnetX is a company that has over 100 patents and probably about 75 more pending, who brought a lawsuit against Apple for infringement. And so the case has had a long history. They brought the case, I think it was in 2012, and they kept going and going. And then there was a settlement for $368 million that was issued against Apple. So Apple lost, but they appealed it, and they found out that 368 million was wrongly calculated because of the judge's error. So therefore, had to go back to trial in the Eastern District of Texas, which is known for patent law cases. As if you see my blog, there's a lot of graphs basically showing that that court alone sees about half of the cases in patent infringement and such in the U.S., which is really interesting. So basically, they took it back, and there was a trial this past month. So basically, after the trial, Apple lost over 600. It was $626 million, even though that was more than VirnetX was expecting. They came in thinking they were going to get 500 million or so. That's what they were aiming for. Ended up getting about 636 million for infringement of 4 patents. Basically, it's a really long case. Came in and they had a lot of top lawyers representing each side. And Apple plans to appeal the decision. Apple is very unsatisfied. They're going to appeal, one part of the settlement, not both. They called for patent reform, and they said patents are unfair. I completely agree, but at the same time, stealing other people's ideas is still wrong. So I think this is a good outcome, but at the same time, you're not going to see many more of these outcomes in the future due to a Supreme Court case in 2014. So, patent trolls might not be as lucky as these guys are in the future, but in this case, they were very lucky. Their stock went up drastically. I think it was like almost 100%, versus Apple's stock almost didn't change. So it's a pretty interesting thing to notice that, they gained a lot of, money from this. And their actual products are pretty cool, but there's still patent trolls, which is kind of disappointing because patent trolls ruin innovation. But my second video, I'm going to talk a little more in depth about what happened.